recap, this did make landfall 10 miles west-southwest of Perry. That's where we had Chris Ward. You'll see the video from him, and it was screaming through Perry. The strong winds, Category 4 winds of 140 miles an hour. Look at that pressure, down to 938. And this thing, it went boom. I mean, it was trying to get its act together, and then it just, when it did, that was it. And it kept getting more intense and more intense and more intense. Then it makes landfall, and then you see that those winds are going to come down because it's interacting with land. There's a little more friction for us here, and so it slowly winds down. But it has left a trail of flooding here from Florida all the way up into the Carolinas, where we're still worried about that catastrophic flooding going on. Wind gusts into Perry, 99 miles an hour. Cedar Key, Mike Bennis also had loads of surge there. We'll show you what his shots looked like overnight. 84 winds, 84 mile an hour wind gusts, even down into St. Pete and Clearwater. We were into the 70s with this. Look at all the power outages. And by the way, we could still see more as this system continues to wind through the southeast. There it is. Our pressure is at 70 miles an hour. So it is now a tropical storm, and your strongest winds are going to be in what's left of this eye wall and on the east side. Atlanta Metro getting spared here, but it is moving fast. It's moving north at 30 miles an hour. By late this morning, the rain's going to be gone from Atlanta over to Augusta, but it is still going to be raining out into places like Tennessee and also into Asheville, where we have meteorologist Felicia Combs, who is stationed. So still those gusty winds as we go through the day. Look at the flood warnings. I mean, you don't typically see this many flood warnings. You might think that this is a watch because it's so back to back with those warnings. Tornado warnings are still popping off for us here into South Carolina. All these storms rotating around, especially right off the ocean. North of Charleston, we have tornado warnings along 26. And notice that flooding goes all the way down here into southern Georgia. Still a little breezy out there in places like Apalachicola and Perry, but the strongest winds are going to be to the north. To Chattanooga, Asheville could see another couple inches of rain for us here. But boy, you've got the rain, you've got the gusty winds. Look at here in Greenville, gusting to 43 miles an hour, and we are under a flash flood warning. Clemson, gusting to 43 miles an hour. We could still see power and perhaps some trees getting taken down by some of these stronger winds. Everything is going to continue to rotate through fairly quickly. This is 7 a.m. Right now it is 5. But notice, as we get 10, 11 o'clock, this thing's going to start clearing out. You'll have some of those lingering winds still for a little bit, but the day is going to be improving. So we have to get through the next couple of hours, and then we're going to be a whole heck of a lot better. We still could see, another half a foot, maybe a foot of rain here, and it's not great when you're in elevation because you've got the sloping that's going on, and so that just makes matters worse. As we take you down here into Aiken, also, look at our gusts, 74 mile an hour gusts here. Wow! That's in Augusta, of course, famous for the golf course there. Boy, oh boy, Reynolds, it is that what's left of that eye wall still intact, giving us some hurricane force gusts this far inland.
The west side of Florida. So we have a lot of people in the dark this morning. We knew this was going to happen with a very strong hurricane. It was a Category 4 when it came into the Big Bend area. You can see Florida leading the list with power outages. Over 1 million customers, each of those customers representing a household. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, we're starting to see those numbers really jump. Now over 87,000 customers that are without electricity this morning. So unfortunately, with the wind that we have and the saturated ground due to the front that was coming through the past couple of days, we could see trees topple quite easily. It doesn't even have to be severe wind from a hurricane or a tornado. So there's that heavy banding of rain pushing northwestward toward the city of Atlanta. The core of the strongest winds coming through eastern Georgia right now. This is where we've had winds gusting as high as 75 miles an hour in a place like Alma, Georgia. You can see where we do have flash flood warnings in effect, especially here in the western side of the Carolinas down into northern Georgia. But I want to point out where we do have flash flood emergencies and also tornado warnings that are ongoing here. This is in South Carolina, Berkeley, Dorchester County. This is where we see some rotation on Doppler radar. As with any system coming ashore and having friction, you will have that ability to get a few tropical tornadoes spin up very quickly within these rain bands. hands. And we're well away from the center. It's over eastern Georgia, and yet we've got the tornado warnings over here into South Carolina. We continue to have a tornado watch, by the way. Other warning going on here near Seabrook Island in South Carolina as well. So please stay indoors while all this is going on outside your home.